finally, a source of raw, real, and honest information on healthcare issues that matter most. Welcome to BS Free MD. From the latest medical information to how to stay sane as a doctor or a patient, no subject is taboo, no BS is allowed. Now, let's welcome your hosts, Doctors May and Tim Hindmarsh.
Okay, back for another truth bomb. So I listened to a podcast the other day and it really struck me because it's something that I probably needed to hear. And it sounds really out there in today's society. But these guys were talking about how important it is to dress appropriately. And I was thinking about it. And then I was taking the gigantic sarcasm side of my brain, which is, I think, the entire left side, thinking about all the travel we've done in the last year or so and how people dress in public. And it's really super, super duper interesting to me because, you know, look, I'd wear Harley and Iron Maiden t-shirts 100% of the time if I could. And I can get away with that to a certain degree.
You think you can?
In a small town. Well, people know me. They find it endearing that, you know, there's the biker doctor. Where I'll be working next, that will not be the case. It will be a completely different expectation of professionalism. And that's fine. I understand that. Just like, why do pilots wear the little pilot-y uniforms that are almost military with the, you know, what are those?
Because
things?
it's a uniform.
Right. Because it's like, I got the training, I got the suit, I know how to take and land this bitch. Think of what it would look like if they had like beach attire on and they're just climbing into the cockpit.
I think they should be wearing full-on biker Harley gear, like they're riding a big hog.
Fly to live to fly.
There you go.
That would be cool. Actually, that would be. I would appreciate that. Harley Airlines, where drinks are free. There's an endless, but they're all Jack Daniels.
But well, there used to be a doctor attire that was kind of standard. I mean, it was the white coat back in the day when your dad was a physician. It was just kind of a given. Man, when we did med school, it was hospitalists and internists and people in hospital wore with the white lab coat. I think it protected your clothing from germs.
Yeah, you're also wearing a tie, which had a 100% chance of getting into, if you're working.
Yeah, that was just wrong.
The kind of job that we do where, you know, urgent care / emergent stuff, it's just a schmutz collector. That's what it is. It gets in the schmutz.
Yeah. And women that wore heels, and some of them still do. And I'm like, how on earth?
No, there's an efficiency to attire as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, my dad would wear a suit, like a jacket, a blazer, which he would take off, put on the white lab coat, have the tie. You know, the lab coat thing is still projects this sort of professional whatever. It's turned into scrubs. Some people object to that. I don't, because we have a new sponsor that are tailored scrubs.
Right.
And if you want to talk about spending money, holy crap, this stuff is so high end. And I'm like, you know,
it has a purpose. I mean,
yeah, but it's functional and it looks good. And I think, I really applaud them for trying to do that, because there are a lot of scrubs you can buy that are essentially miniature tents.
Yeah.
Like you could weigh 110 pounds and you're still wearing a, you know, like a circus tent.
Well, I'm thinking functionality when you're doing your job. And, you know, if you're a plumber, you're a carpenter, you have your tool belt.
Well, if you're a plumber, you have a crack in your attire.
Stop. Quit picking on professions.
Well, I'm not picking on plumbers because that's gross.
Anyway. So as far as work attire goes, were you going to go down the road and tell me that you're throwing out all your concert t-shirts and Harley t-shirts and just going to get yourself
I'm just not wearing them.
Business casual button-up polos from now on to look very dapper and tropical?
No, I'm just not wearing them to work. But you know, it's interesting because I wore decent scrubs to another job I had, and I had an Iron Maiden lanyard, which was an unbelievably interesting tool. It was like a social experiment, because the people that didn't get it didn't notice it and they didn't care because it wasn't inappropriate. The people that got it instantly trusted me. They're like, "Oh, you're a metalhead." And I'm like, "Yeah, totally." And it was interesting because there is an aspect as simple as it sounds, but I think it really is important, where when you're dressed, when you have the appropriate uniform, it's a bridge to build trust. And in the medical environment where we're seeing a lot of patients, they have to trust you and they have to trust you quickly. And, like there was that one guy on that plastic surgery show that always had the scrubs with the arms cut off. I would love to do that if I could get away with it, but there's no way in hell I'm going to do that with the sleeveless scrubs.
Yeah, no, let's just not. And on that point, so when you get a little bit too carried away with the uniform, the clothing, and you try to make a point, you try to stand out, but you get too far over the line, or you get so divergent that it's distracting, that's when you lose people, or you attract people to looking at that instead of the whole point of what they're trying to do.
Which is a brilliant segue into my personal pet peeve in the entire world of attire, which is yoga pants. Yes, I think yoga pants are appropriate for one place and one place only, and that would be the yoga studio. Nowhere else. They should never be worn anywhere else. And in airports, if you are a woman, you have a 94.27% chance, if you are under the age of 82, of wearing yoga pants. And I'm asking you right now, stop for the love of God!
Okay.
Because it is completely insane. You cannot win yoga pants. You can't win. It's an impossible thing to win.
So this is an opinion piece. Tim's opinion on yoga pants. Go ahead.
But you can't win.
You finish.
This is why you can't win. If you have done 10,000 hours of Brazilian butt lift and you do like 12 hours a week of exercise and you are in perfect shape and you put yoga pants on with your halter sort of sports bra and you decide to get on a plane, you're going to attract a tremendous amount of attention, and probably not attention that you want. Or maybe it's attention that you want, because some women, actually most, almost look better in yoga pants if they're really fit than if they were naked. And so do you really want to go into a public place naked? Is that really your, like, speaking as a guy, is that really your goal? Like, you have zero modesty?
Okay, I'll halt right there before we keep going. And I'm going to be the voice on your shoulder, or the one calling bullshit or challenging you. So what do you think about people at the beach when they're in their bathing suits?
It's the beach. It's not an airport. I think that's different. And there's people at the beach that it's just like, really, you can have a cover up, you can take your cover up off, you can go into the water, you can suntan, you can have an umbrella. Like it's a completely different environment. Just like the gym. Like, do I expect women to wear, tight clothing that's athletically geared for going to the gym? Yeah, of course. But you're not walking around in a public place for hours and hours. And then I honestly, I don't get it. And then there's the other side. Like, there's literally like a yoga pantometer, right? I mean, it's like a tachometer, and it's the yoga pantometer. And in the middle is the sweet spot. It's the gym and the yoga studio. Okay. This is the place you wear yoga pants. And then there's I'm super fit and I'm going to wear something just slightly south of a sports bra plus my yoga pants. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that's not appropriate for riding in an airplane, in my opinion. And on the other side,
have you heard of hyperbaric therapy?
If you want better circulation, oxygenation, or respiration,
turn up the volume.
Everyone appreciates the increased energy and clarity.
Athletes say goodbye to those PRs because you're going to blast
So
them.
how does it work?
We load your body with oxygen.
That means
less inflammation,
fewer allergies,
faster healing, and more.
Come see us, 1200 Executive Parkway.
The Upside Down building.
Call us, 541-636-3278.
That's 541-636-3278.
We have some incredible deals.
Heal, build, and thrive
with New Leaf Hyperbarics.
Got air?
There's people that are so gigantic that it's like,
well, I'm
like, I mean, like, I don't care if you're a man or a woman. If you're wearing Lycra pants and you're 300 pounds, how does that work in any equation of modesty and common sense? It makes zero sense to me. And then what makes even less sense to me is that there is a CEO sitting in a million or billion-dollar company making these garments that said, you know what the problem with our garments are? We don't have enough 7XL yoga pants. Like, how the hell did the board of directors vote for that production?
All right.
How is that a thing?
So here we go. So I'm going to say,
I'm bad. Am I fat shaming now? Is that a bad thing?
Well,
am I a bad
I'm gonna
person?
put my little spin on it and just rescue you as somewhat. So
good luck.
But let's put it this way. So if nowadays they can make it in any size, bathing suits, yoga pants, pick your thing. GWG, not GWGs. That's dating myself or putting me back to Canada.
That's a Canadian.
It's like Levi's or Lee's, whatever. You can get anything in any size. So that's
like you can get skinny jeans in like 54-inch waist.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Okay. So the thing is, though, I think what you're trying to say, at least from my point of view, there is clothing appropriate places for clothing, meaning you don't want to see people in yoga pants in the airport because it's travel. And I think people want to dress for comfort, and yoga pants are comfortable. So they just think, I'll wear these on the plane because they stretch and I'm comfy. But I have to, part of me is like, I'm applauding anybody who gets into the yoga pants and goes to the gym and works out. And
yes.
You know what?
100%.
You go. I don't care if you're a stick that looks like a stick in yoga pants, or you are in the 7XL yoga pants. Way to go. Do it. We're there to work out. But I agree that there's a place and an attire for every situation. And I think dress for success should be pay attention. Like, so when you go to Walmart or you come to the doctor's office or you're at the Safeway grocery store or you're going to pay your bill downtown, why are you in the fleece SpongeBob pajamas still? So
yeah, it's another one, isn't it?
Why
they're always SpongeBob and they're always fleece.
So what
and
is
they're
it
always unwashed?
Going out around to do your business in pajama bottoms or like this dirty hoodie that you worked out in your backyard in. Unless you're just coming off of the logging shift and you look like,
unless you're being unloaded from an ambulance.
Yeah. I mean, get dressed. So yes, when you go to travel, now I don't think we need to go back to the days of our parents where people wore suits and dresses and heels on a plane, but I think you should wear appropriate clothing.
I think we should go back to the days of DB Cooper in 1971, where you got onto the plane and the stewardess, because there was not a single steward in the entire world of airlines then, took your blazer, hung it for you at the front of the aircraft, escorted you to your seat, and brought you a scotch and lit your cigarette. I one day, just once, I know the smoke in an airplane is god awful. I know. I just want to experience.
Well, that's why you get your own private jet and do that.
I want to experience that once.
Get your own private jet.
Where they're like, "Oh, Dr. Heinrich, would you like me to take your blazer? Oh, would you like a scotch?"
We have a friend that has a private jet, I think, and he can just take you on.
Not yet.
Okay.
And
the yachts.
And would you like me to not
Maybe
only bring you a cigarette, but light it for you?
All right. So enough.
Yes.
Enough of your.
I
dreams.
want that.
Here's the thing.
Once.
Though. But what's happened is the airplane that used to be the high class airplane is now turned into the Greyhound bus. So we're all in a Greyhound bus together. When I was a kid, think about how people dressed on the Greyhound bus, and they probably still do. So that's the issue with the plane. And I think people need to care for themselves more when you're going out. You don't dress in your pajamas to go to the grocery shop. You don't wear your yoga pants when you're on a plane. And when you're going to a wedding or a funeral, I'm sorry, but you don't get to wear ripped jeans. And I call a bush jacket, which in the US is called flannels, and a button-up logger jacket. Or a T-shirt that says full throttle, whatever you got on.
Unless it's a
now
funeral of a logger, in which case they would
right
find
now.
it
Sometimes, depending on your circle of friends, and everybody dresses like that, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. And if that's the little circle and you're all wearing that, that's one thing. I'm not going to tell a bunch of bikers going on a bike ride that they can't wear their biker stuff and stirred. That's appropriate. But for the most part, if you look around and 90% of the people are dressed differently than you, I think
the problem's you.
I think that, and there's one thing for being individual, but honestly, there is a dress attire for certain situations. And it matters because why? because
it projects something important.
well, like you care for yourself, like
Right.
you care for about the situation you're in. You wouldn't go to a business meeting in SpongeBob fleece pants.
do you want to go to the mortician when you've lost your parent and they show up eating a ham sandwich with flip-flops and board shorts on? Like, seriously, like, honestly, like, this stuff is,
Well, I'm thinking,
I have ignored
would you
this
wanna
for
get on the
virtually my
plane when the
entire,
flight attendant is wearing SpongeBob pants?
No. I have ignored this largely for most of my adult life, partially because it was never important to me, and partially because of the kind of work and where we've lived. But, and again, I don't want to beat up on people of different, shapes and sizes. People can dress in a way that is complementary to their body shape.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone doesn't have to be the same.
No, I think people can dress and look beautiful in all sizes.
I don't,
of
exactly,
all ages.
100%.
Oh,
I
yes.
don't fit those modern suits that are super tight and highly tailored with the skinny pants.
Nor
and
would
the
I let you walk out the door with those on.
No, like I got a gigantic chest, and I built like a fire hydrant. I can't make that fit me. It doesn't work. So I shouldn't wear it.
So I want to figure out a way we can wrap this up without us sounding like you need to be vain,
sounding like assholes,
when you're
without
putting
us sounding
yourself out
too
there.
late.
So there is a line between
Failure,
vanity, and overdoing it and not leaving the house, because we have people in our life and friends that won't let their kids leave the house until every piece of makeup and hair and hairspray has been done. And that's a little much as well. But I think it shows respect for the people around you. I think it shows respect for yourself, and that you're taking yourself and life a bit more seriously. And I think it's just sad because it's like we've given up on ourselves as far as appearance. And
yes, I think that's the case. And, full confession, we're the hillbillies that went to a fancier wedding in, our soon to be new city. And they actually described what the dress code was. We had to look some of it up.
right.
Because we didn't know what fascinators were.
But I think it's all about showing respect, and, you don't have to have perfection, and it doesn't have to be about vanity. But I think we've let society and all of us, and even ourselves at times, just go too far into the sloth, laziness world. And maybe we need to just kind of look through our wardrobe, look in the mirror a little bit when we go out, and it's like, where am I going? Would I like to see someone else dressed this way if I was at work or meeting them? And, take it from there.
But one last thing, the only place I think that it's really appropriate to not dress up is church, because I think the concept of a pretentious vision for people potentially wanting to visit, and, the Bible even talks about that. I think that's actually a thing, so a pastor in a nice shirt with jeans, I'm totally cool with all that. Like that, the whole, Sunday best, that one I reject. Everything else I think
you want people to feel included and welcome.
Right. And if that means that there's some people that feel, that they're respecting God with how they're like, whatever, that's all, like, all of it's good. It just shouldn't be a uniform in a situation like that. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Good point. I mean, now that we're going down that trail, I'm thinking, well, if you're super sick and you have to run into the grocery store to grab your antibiotics and cold medicine, and it's all you can do, that's an exception. But I think for the most part, 80 to 90% of the time we can do better, so that 10% of the time we can just let it go. And that's the sort of motto for the rest of our life.
And we're going to finish this up with, I vow to all the listeners, I will do better.
And I'm holding you to that. Bombs away, brother. See you guys next time.
It's no secret that medicine is a bit, uptight. That's why Tim and I created BS Free MD, to mix things up a little and have fun in the process. Besides, we are having these exact same discussions all the time, so we thought we might as well invite everyone to the party. If you really like us, you can get plenty more, and maybe see one of Tim's cool tattoos on our Instagram or Facebook pages at BS Free MD. See you next time.
But we try to keep BS Free MD as raw and real as possible, We can't be held responsible for any medical decisions or discussions had as a result of what you've heard on the show. We know, bummer. But the truth is, we really do care about your questions. So feel free to reach out to us by email at doc@bsfreemd.com.